We're recording, Juice,
Awesome.
with another episode of the Hidden Threads podcast.
You just can't get enough of these things.
So we got the war in Iran with Iran going on. Is it really a war, though?
I don't think it is. I think it's just a strategic strikes.
You know, what's interesting there is China gets most of their oil from Iran and Venezuela.
Yes. Not anymore.
Is it shocking that we cut off the heads of both of those places?
Nope,
No.
not at all. And then you got Cuba.
They're
Killed
kind
some fishermen.
They're waving in the wind right now, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Where do they get their oil? Venezuela, right?
Yeah. They're probably upset.
They'll probably implode internally, right?
Yeah, they upset Trump and President Trump and Pete Hegseth. They upset them when they killed those fishermen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just dudes out fishing, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of like, hey, look, it's Cuba. And then they start getting shot.
International water.
Was it Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not for anybody.
I wonder if the president or whatever he is of Cuba called and said, hey, we're sorry. Don't shoot it.
Please don't kill all of us in one shot.
But I wonder if Cuba has any political prisoners from the United States there. I've never looked it up.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
No, China does.
Oh, yeah.
There's some in Iran, too, right?
There's everywhere.
You know, where one of our dudes goes in and does something stupid or whatever and gets picked up. Sometimes it's not stupid, but...
well, I don't know. They've had this coming since 1979.
Was it 79? Yeah, that's
79. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
So
ever since I've been a kid, Iran's been waving the swords, rattling the swords, man.
Yeah, and they've done it several times over the years. You know, USS Cole and Beirut, the barracks bombing that killed all the Marines, and
and in Iraq, those explosively formed projectiles we would find.
Oh yeah.
So you had the ones made in Iraq, and they were kind of rudimentary. They were made out of paint cans and stuff. They still work. But the ones that would look like they were made from an industrial machine shop, those are the ones from Iran.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Pride in their work.
They were pressed out and, came from a mold.
Oh, yeah.
And they're good. They look good. And they were more, I wouldn't say they're all deadly, but they didn't have fast fires and things like that. So,
yeah.
They had real blasting caps instead of some bullcrap put together in matches. Like, you'd see some of that as well in Iraq. But you saw a lot of that in Afghanistan, too. They had real life, they built these in their kitchen.
Oh yeah,
type bombs.
You gotta have hobbies.
You know what I mean? Like they used they packed matches together.
Oh yeah,
and made blasting caps out of them, which work. They work, man.
Yeah, so they're effective.
It's good. It's an initiator. I wouldn't say it's a good one.
No, but it works
most of the time.
Yeah, not all the time.
It'll still kill you. So, but our topic today, Juice, this guy. We ain't talked about a serial killer in a while.
Oh, okay.
But Hamilton Howard Albert Fish.
Ooh, he's royalty.
Did you read up on him a little bit?
Yeah.
This guy. What a sick individual. All right. You want to read about him a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. Albert Fish is what he goes by. Was born Hamilton Howard Fish in Washington, D.C. on May 19th, 1870 to Randall Fish and Ellen Frances Howell. Fish's father was an American of English ancestry. Jeez.
Hip, hip, cheerio.
Is this your kin, folks?
Yeah.
I'm English as well. And his mother was Scots-Irish, American. His father was 43 years older than his mother. What that? And age 75 at the time of his birth. Mr. Fish. And the young girls. Anyway, Fish was his family's youngest child and had 3 living siblings, Walter, Annie, and Edwin. He wished to be known as Albert after a dead sibling.
Yeah.
And to escape the nickname Ham and Eggs that he was given at an orphanage in which he spent much of his childhood. So apparently his dad died and his mom couldn't handle him, so they put him in an orphanage for a while.
Right.
I mean, they were kids. So Fish's family had a history of mental illness. His uncle had mania. Is that a thing now? I
think he was manic.
More specific now? No. One of his brothers was confined in a state mental hospital. A paternal half-brother suffered from schizophrenia, and his sister Annie was diagnosed with mental affliction. 3 other relatives were diagnosed with mental illness, and his mother had oral and or visual hallucinations.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they got it going on.
Yeah.
They all should be in the loony bin.
I like his nickname, though, Ham and Eggs.
Ham and Egg? I'm going to start calling you Ham and Eggs.
Yeah, that's loser.
Is that what it means?
Yeah. I think we talked about that.
Did it?
Yeah, they call somebody back home a ham and egger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of the coal mines on Fridays, they'd have fights. And whoever lost got a piece of ham and a couple of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
and whoever won got the purse, the money.
Okay.
So if you were a loser, they call you a ham and egger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know why they're calling a poor guy a loser.
Right. Okay. Ham and egg. It's a weird family. How about that?
Yeah. They all had mental health issues.
All right. So here's his dad. So on October 16, 1875, Fish's father, a fertilizer manufacturer and former riverboat captain, suffered a fatal heart attack at the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station. So let me ask you this. You think about this family being around so much fertilizer might have caused some mental problems?
Well, back then, OSHA wasn't doing their job.
Some of that fertilizer is metal heavy, and it can cause you to lose your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
You got too much metal in your system. I don't know. Maybe so. His mother then put him in the St. John's Orphanage in Washington, D.C., where he was frequently physically abused. However, Fish began to enjoy the physical pain brought by the beatings. This guy's crazy, man. He loved it. He started trouble just so he could get the beat down.
Yeah.
By 1880, Fish's mother secured a government job and was able to remove him from the orphanage. Damage is done already, in my opinion.
Yeah, at that point, he was already cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. In 1882, at age of 12, Fish began a relationship with a telegraph boy. The youth introduced Fish to such practices as drinking urine and eating feces. How's that? Like, hey, man, let's go chill and drink some pee.
I don't know. It's like eating mid-rats on ship.
That didn't have urine and feces in it, though.
I'm not so sure.
We caught it, on a shingle, though.
So. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But sometimes the mid-rats weren't good at all.
I remember we'd all play cards or chess all night, and we'd get to go, and they would get to the point where they're like, Marines, unless you're on duty, you can't have mid-rats anymore.
Yeah.
We're like, come on. If you had watch, you could go. So Fish began visiting public baths where he could watch other boys undress, spending a great portion of his weekend at these visits. Throughout his life, he would write obscene letters to women whose names he acquired from classified advertising and matrimonial agencies. So he was spamming people with letters.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a recap here. So he was raped and abused in an orphanage. He liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Met a guy that taught him how to eat feces. I don't know what the teaching is. You just do it. And drinking pee. And then he started going to the public bath, like the public pool, I guess, and watching boys undress and stuff in the bathroom. This guy's got some issues, man.
If it's a survival situation, I'll drink my pee.
After we drain it through some dirt, though.
Yeah. We're gonna clean it a little bit. We're not drinking it straight from the tap.
I did that where you strain it through the dirt. It still tastes like pee,
of course,
and then you add dirt flavor to it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you won't die.
But
it gets all the crystallized stuff. They told me what it gets. The dirt gets all the uric acid out of it.
Yeah, uric acid.
It still tastes like crap.
So. Oh yeah.
So here we go. 1890 to 1918. He got an early criminal history here, Juice. Imagine that. By 1890, at age 20, Fish moved to New York City. There he engaged in male prostitution and began molesting and raping boys, mostly less than 6 years old. Man, this guy's got some issues. So, I see the arrests all the time I get the little highlight in my little text messages and emails where getting you inmates of DeKalb County or Marshall County or more.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of child sex abuse.
A lot.
That's a mental demonic thing, man.
Unfortunately, they slap them on the wrist when they should blow their head off. But that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, they should be 6 foot under, in my opinion.
Yes.
But
and to me, they say, they've been rehabilitated. If you're a pedophile, there's no such thing as rehabilitation. The only way you rehabilitate is if you're dead.
Right. I got a call the other day from a guy. He's out on bond now. He's got to wait in a trial, but he got pinched in one of these deals where he got online, found a prostitute, was going to meet her at the hotel, right? One of those website or apps or whatever.
Yeah. Consenting adults.
1-800 get a hoe.
Yeah. 1-800 hooker.
www.getahoe.com, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, and while he was on the way there, she texted him and said, "Hey, I'm only 15." If he'd have turned around and went home,
but he didn't.
He went there, and as he walked in the door, they said, "Hey, you're under arrest," kind of thing. He's trying to get me to say they entrapped him. I said, "I don't think that's
not entrapment.
That's you committing a crime."
Yeah.
So he's mad. He was mad at me. I got entrapped. Hey, everybody, Macky here. And I just want to talk to you for a minute about M&H Legal Services in North Alabama. I've worked with a lot of law firms over the years, and they are by far the most transparent and most personal set of lawyers you'll ever find. Whether it's family law, including child custody, divorce, prenuptial agreements, adoptions, or you got a personal injury case or a medical malpractice case. They can help you with all that. They are a modern, transparent legal services firm, and they have a team of professionals standing by to help you now. These are the best lawyers I've ever worked with. So if you have a family law issue or you've been injured in a car wreck or a medical malpractice case, give them a call. It's a consultation you can't miss out on. So give them a ring at 256-860-8688 or mhlegalservices.com. They're standing by to help you now.
No, you didn't.
They didn't force you to go do that at all. Entrapment includes they make you do it, right? So
yeah, I mean, they tell you, I'm over 18, I'm 22, I'm 22, I'm 22. You get there. On your way, they tell you, no, I'm 15. Okay, don't be an idiot. Don't continue to go.
Yeah, he showed up at the room and went in.
If he would have just said, she told me she was 22 when she said 15, I was done. I turned around and went home.
Well, this is obviously the cop texted him.
Oh, yeah.
Get it all on record, so he's done. So
yeah, he's cooked.
I did not take his money. So anyway,
yeah,
he's a wealthier guy around here too. So
that's all right. Well, he probably needs to buy a pillow that's bite proof.
I wonder what the sentence is for that. Because he didn't actually carry out the act, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he's going to get hit as a sexual predator and have to register and everything
all
else.
That stuff. He may not get a long jail time, but
unless he talks them into doing a plea deal for him,
some kind of mental health counseling or whatever. So I'm not going to say a name. People know him around here. So all right, so this guy, Fish later recounted. We're going back to Fish here, right?
Right.
His sexual deviance is what we're getting into.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Fish later recounted an incident in which a male lover took him to a wax museum where he was fascinated by a bisection of a human penis and subsequently became obsessed with sexual mutilation. Romantic juice.
Oh, yeah.
Several years later, around 1910, Fish was working in Wilmington, Delaware. And that's where Joe Biden's from, your favorite president.
Oh, yeah. Your bestest buddy.
That's Bill and Ted's. What is it? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Where they carried the dead guy around. Yeah. When he met a 19-year-old man named Thomas Bedden, he took Bedden to where he was staying, and the two began a sadomasochistic relationship. That's a big word. It is unclear whether this sadomasochism was consensual on Bedden's part, but Fish later confession implied that Bedden was intellectually disabled.
Oh,
so he's got this disabled kid.
Yes,
messing around. This guy's gross. After 10 days, Fish took Bedden to an old farmhouse where he tortured him over 2 weeks. Fish eventually tied Bedden up and cut off half his penis. He said, "I shall never forget his scream or the look he gave me." Fish later recalled. He originally intended to kill Bedden, cut up his body, and take it home, but he feared the hot weather would draw attention. Instead, Fish poured peroxide over the wound, wrapped it with Vaseline-covered handkerchief, and left $10, kissed Bedden goodbye, and left. With half of a male part. Man. He said he took the first train he could get back home. Never heard what came of him, but he did try to find out. But what do you think of this guy so far?
I've taken several psychology classes, and I just can't understand, and I probably never will, with people with the fascination of mutilating another person.
Yeah.
And raping other people. I know it's a control thing. I know it's, violence, and that's their thing. That's what gets them off. But I just don't understand it. I will never understand it.
Right. It's a sexual thing. It's like the other serial killers we talk about. They get sexual gratification out of seeing somebody die or be tortured, suffer, or whatever. Yeah. Not sure how that works because I don't have that wire in my brain. So, all right, here we go. So Fish began to have auditory hallucinations. He once wrapped himself in a carpet, saying that he was following the instructions of John the Apostle. God, Lord. So John the Apostle said, "Wrap yourself in a carpet."
Apparently,
really okay. It was about this time that Fish began to indulge in self-harm by embedding needles into his groin and abdomen. What do you think of that?
Little weird.
It is. After his arrest, x-rays revealed that Fish had at least 29 needles lodged in his pelvic region. He also hit himself repeatedly with a nail-studded paddle and inserted wool doused with a lighter fluid into his rectum and set it on fire. While Fish was never thought to have physically attacked or abused his children, he did encourage them and their friends to paddle his buttocks with the same nail-studded paddle he used to abuse himself. Hey, kid, come paddle me with this. That's crazy. All right. Around 1919, Fish stabbed an intellectually disabled boy in Georgetown. He often chose people who are either mentally disabled or African American as his victims, later explaining that he assumed these people would not be missed when they were killed. So this is early in the city, 1919, 1930. So I guess African Americans, we still had race tensions then, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the mentally handicapped, they were
right.
They said, he wandered off and died probably, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Well, families used to hide the children that had.
If you're a pet owner who wants real talk on training, behavior, and everyday life with animals, check out the Fresh Patch Podcast. Hosted by Drew and Gabe, we cover the wins, the challenges, and everything in between. So wherever you listen, search the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it.
Issues like that.
We didn't have as much information back then, did
No.
we? So, no. Fish would later claim to have occasionally paid boys to procure other children for him. He was like the Jeffrey Epstein of the time.
Oh, yeah.
The gay version, right?
Well, Dahmer, Epstein, Cross.
Did Dahmer pay people? Did he pay people to bring them to him? Or I can't remember.
Well, Epstein did, but Dahmer decided to make finger sandwiches out of them and stuff.
He put them in the freezer and stuff.
Yeah.
He had like half of legs and stuff in his bathtub. He would hang up like there's a butcher shop. So,
yeah.
But he offered money to come help him look for rhubarb. See, here's a girl. I got ahead of myself. Fish found an 8-year-old Beatrice Kill playing alone in her parents' farm in Staten Island, New York. He offered her money to come and help him look for rhubarb. She was about to leave the farm when her mother chased Fish away. Fish left, but returned later to the Kill's farm, where he tried to sleep, but was discovered by Beatrice's father and forced to leave. In 1924, the 54-year-old Fish, suffering from psychosis, felt that God was commanding him to torture and sexually mutilate children. He needed a bullet early in life.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever heard about this guy till we brought it up today?
No.
I didn't either.
No, I didn't. I know some other ones that are out there, but this guy, like you said, you look back on it, his dad was a fertilizer manufacturer.
Right.
And there's just a preponderance of similarities that all siblings and mother and they all had mental health issues.
Yeah.
So it goes to say, this kid's got some strikes against him, or this guy at the time as a child had some strikes against him.
Mm-hmm.
And once he realized he can get away with some stuff, I think it just intensified for him.
You think the fertilizer had anything to do with it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I do. I mean, there was something wrong. I think mental health issues, some of them I would consider genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it adds to it the fact of the chemicals back then. Because honestly, there was no OSHA back then.
Right.
When
I was a kid, I remember the planes would fly around and spread DDT. Was it called DDT?
Oh, yeah.
Or DT or whatever. They spread it
mosquitoes
everywhere.
and stuff.
Yeah. It just,
Agent
look,
Orange.
the plane. I thought it was cool. The plane, look.
Yeah, Agent Orange.
We didn't have as many bugs back then.
No. But, you had 3 eyes and 4 testicles, but that's okay.
And
the
dudes just dying
were gone.
Random heart attacks at age 40.
Yeah.
So. But all right, so we get into really bad things. He abducted this girl named Grace Budd, and he says he attempted to test his implements of hell on this 10-year-old girl. All right, let's get into it. This is sad. On May 25th, 1928, Fish saw a classified advertisement in the Sunday edition of the New York World. That's not around anymore, is it?
Nope.
That read, "Young man 18 wishes position in country." Right. Edward Budd, 406, gave the address. On May 28th, Fish, then 58 years old, visited a Budd family in Manhattan under the pretense of hiring Edward. He later confessed that he planned to tie Edward up, mutilate him, and leave him to bleed to death. Fish introduced himself as Frank Howard, a farmer from Farmingdale, New York. He promised to hire Budd and his friend and said he would send for them in a few days. Fish failed to show up, but he sent a telegram to Budd family apologizing and set a later date. When Fish returned, he met Edward's younger sister, 10-year-old Gracie Budd. He apparently shifted his intentions toward Grace and quickly made up a story about having to attend his niece's birthday party. Okay, here we go. He persuaded the parents, Della Bridget Flanagan and Albert Francis Budd Sr., to let Grace accompany him to the party that evening. Right. I'm not going to let my kid...
Back then, not a red flag.
I don't know. I'm not going to let my kid go to a party with a guy we just met that day. I don't care if we're 19, 20 or not.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's our mentality right now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I don't know. It's just like trick-or-treating as a kid. You know, when I did it as a kid, you can go wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, now you got to have your candy x-rayed and, you know, there's kids getting kidnapped. I think it's the time frame of when that happened. It was probably like an innocent thing. Oh, he's just going to take her over to the party.
Yeah, it's probably not far either.
Now, if you're a grown man and you want to take my little girl somewhere, you're probably going to get ventilated.
Ventilated? Lead poisoning?
Yeah.
All right. So he proceeded, and they let him go. All right. To the party. Fish subsequently took Grace to an abandoned house he had previously picked out to use for the murder of his next victim. It's Wysteria Cottage at 359 Mountain Road, located in East Irvington neighborhood of Irvington, New York. I don't know anything about New York. The people in New York could be like, "Oh, I know where that is," you know, but I don't have a clue. There, Fish manually strangled her to death, then decapitated and dismembered her body, and ate most of the remains over the next several days. Okay. The police arrested 66-year-old Superintendent Charles Edward Pope on September 5th, 1930, as a suspect in Grace's disappearance, accused by Pope's estranged wife. Pope spent 108 days in jail between his arrest and trial on December 22nd, 1930, and he was found not guilty. Man, he almost got it, didn't he? If you make it to the jury, it's like, you know, it's 50-50, right? Or wait a minute, 1 out of 12 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never want to go to the jury, you know, but if he didn't do it,
thrown out prior to that.
Yeah. Now, here's a letter he wrote. This is what made him famous. Okay. This is where I was reading this letter, and this is where I've discovered this guy. On November 1934, an anonymous letter sent to Grace's parents ultimately led the police to Fish. Bud's mother was illiterate and could not read the letter herself, so she had her son read it to her. The unaltered letter reads, "Dear Miss Bud, my dear Miss Bud. In 1894, a friend of mine shipped as a deckhand on a steamer Tacoma, Captain John Davis. They sailed from San Francisco for Hong Kong, China. On arriving there, he and 2 others went ashore and got drunk. When they returned, the boat was gone." All right, let me get down here at the bottom, right? I'm skipping some of it here, right? On the pretense to take her to her party, you said yes, she should go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester I'd already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs, stripped all my clothes off. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When we was all ready, I went to the window and called her up. I then hid in the closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry, and I tried to run down the stairs. I grabbed her, and she said she would tell her mama. First, I stripped her naked, and then how she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook and eat it. How sweet and tender a little, I'm not going to say what he says, how sweet and tender she was, roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not have sexual relations to her. I changed that part as I wished she died pure. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't get ventilated earlier.
Dad must have died by this point because he's not mentioned here. But
yeah,
you think he'd have chased him down and ripped his head off? You know, I mean, so armed guy. But police investigated the letter, and although the story concerning Captain Davis and the famine in Hong Kong could not be verified, the part of the letter concerning the murder of Grace was found to be accurate in its description of the kidnapping and subsequent events, though it was impossible to confirm whether Fish had actually eaten parts of Grace's body. Well, he admitted to it, right? He said, you know, hey, I'm the one that took her to the party that night, but we went to the farmhouse, right?
Yeah.
So, is that a clue?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Even the FBI would call it one.
All right. He had some other crimes here as well. On February 11, 1927, 3-year-old Billy Beaton and his 12-year-old brother were playing in the apartment hallway in Brooklyn with 4-year-old Billy Gaffney. When the 12-year-old left for his apartment, both younger boys disappeared. Beaton was found later on the roof of the apartments. When asked what happened to Gaffney, Beaton said the Boogeyman took him. Gaffney's body was never recovered. Initially, serial killer Peter, this is some up your way, Juice, Kudzinowski. Did I do good? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Was suspected in Gaffney's murder. Then Joseph Meehan, a motorman. I don't know what that is. It's old terminology. You know what a motorman is?
I'd say a mechanic.
Okay. On Brooklyn Trolley, always working on trolley motors. I saw a picture of Fish in a newspaper and identified him as the old man whom he saw on February 11th, 1927. The man had been trying to quiet a little boy sitting on him in the trolley. The boy was not wearing a jacket, was crying for his mother, and was dragged by the man off the trolley. Beat description of the boogeyman matched Fish. The police matched the description and arrested him. So, all right. So he got arrested. Now he got convicted and got executed. He got to ride the lightning.
Gotta love that.
That's old school back and in, right? I don't, we get it all the time here where people are sexual deviants, but they usually get caught early. Like the guy we talked about earlier.
Right.
He got caught, just going there, right? Do you think our techniques, we talked about it with serial killers too, do you think our techniques are getting them before they become they kill multiple times?
I think it helps, yeah.
Yeah, we got better techniques.
Yeah.
Technology, DNA, all those things that helps us arrest them before they get too crazy like this guy did, right? So, unfortunately, they do have victims. It's just not 3 to 12 like you saw back in the old days. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, Jus?
Yeah, whether it's his mental health that caused all this, as far as maybe fertilizer chemicals or maybe genetics or whatever, he was a sick individual. Too bad they didn't catch him, before he had any victims.
Right. I'm guessing back in those days, you could go around for a while without people noticing you,
Yeah.
So unless you start putting your hands on people, I guess.
Yeah. So, it's not like, now you get warnings on your phone, updates and, Amber Alerts and everything else. So,
yeah, I can go on the website now and see sexual predators within 10 miles of me. So
it's probably a lot easier back then.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Yeah, agree. All right, Jus, we're going to get off here and be back with another of your favorite topics.
Awesome.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later.